Right, seem to have picked up a leaf. So we've got this next little bit of time where really the most effective thing you can do is shut everything else out. So put it aside. And our minds are always busy and there's always a lot going on. So it's quite hard to do that. It sounds so simple, you know, just relax, don't think. One of the best ways is to distract your mind by making it focus on your body. So let's start that now. Taking your breath right down as low as you can into your belly. So imagine as you breathe in, breathing in through your nostrils, you're taking that air all the way down. Picture it moving down. Notice which parts of your body have to move and adapt to make space for that breath. Hopefully you'll feel your belly ballooning outwards a little. You might feel that your ribs come out to the sides and up a little. And when you're ready to breathe out, which I'm sure you have done already, but go at your own pace, completely emptying. And decide for yourself which way you want to empty, whether you're going to empty from the top down or from the bottom up. Just playing with the sensation. Sometimes closing your eyes helps. Relax your shoulders, let go of any tension in your shoulders. Just taking those nice, deep, slow breaths in and see if you can lengthen the out breath. So you do that by slowing it down. The in breath will be a bit quicker. And relax your hands, relax your fingers, relax the palms of your hands. Have them in your lap or on your knees. As you breathe in and out, relax your jaw as well. Relax your eyes, all the little muscles around your eyes. And lifting up from the crown of your head, so long in your back. And you've probably already made a little bit more space now. So keep that going, keep adding on. Think about which bits of your body are engaged, are holding you upright, are working hard, and which bits you can let go of. So you don't need to hold on to your hands, onto your shoulders, onto your jaw. Relax and soften your belly. So there's plenty of space for that breath. And just a moment here to acknowledge how you're feeling today. And if some of those feelings about yourself today are not the most joyful and positive, imagine how you would feel if it was somebody else. So if you were somebody else and you were able to see all the things that you have to do, all the things that you get done, all the things that you are busy flying around accomplishing day to day. If you're thinking about somebody else, you probably cut them a lot more slack. So time to give yourself a pat on the back. You're doing a brilliant job. Your intentions are good. There's only so many hours in the day. So keeping your eyes closed, just bring your right hand to your left knee. We're going to do a little bit of a twist, just opening the left shoulder out behind you, lifting and breathing in. And as you breathe out, gently relaxing. Not coming all the way back to center, but just letting go of that twist. And then as you breathe in again, lifting up and round and back. Maybe if you feel like it, open your eyes here. One more. So as you twist, turn, lift, breathe in. And as you let go of that breath, allow yourself to come all the way back. This time all the way back to center. Let's take the left hand to the right knee. Yes, I got it right. Right hand goes out behind. Nice lovely stretch in the shoulders, in the ribs, in the belly. And again, as you breathe out, in, you're twisting around to the back. As you breathe out, just coming back to wherever you come back to. You don't have to come all the way back to the center. So up and round and in with that breath. Ease off as you breathe out. One more. And back again. So we're going to start with some folds. So send your feet forward in front of you. Bring your toes back towards your face. So both legs out in Dandasana. Up really tall, so you can feel your sit bones dropping down into the floor. And then we're going to keep the left leg there, bring the right leg in. So right leg tucked right in, as high up as you can on your thigh, right tucked into your groin, and right knee out to the side. So here your body's going to want to go into that V shape. Try and bring yourself so that you are out over your, in front of your extended leg. So we're sort of ignoring that right leg. You'll feel a nice little bit of twisting and a little bit of tension in your chest, in your torso maybe. So you're going to just slide down that leg. Nothing very dramatic to start with this morning, just sliding down with your hands, folding forward. Keep a little pressure on your left hand to guide your torso over your extended leg. So it should come in the sort of middle of your chest. Notice where you're feeling that. Are you feeling it in the back of your knee, in the back of your ankle, in your thigh? Hopefully also feeling a little bit in your back, in your sides. And then of course the tension in that left arm is on because you're pushing gently into the outer edge of your leg, your extended leg. So we're breathing in and out easily and evenly here. And then gently coming back up to center. So leaving your right leg out to the side, pick up your left foot. And we're going to cradle that left foot. So we're working that joint, a nice hip joint there. So whatever you need to do, wherever you're holding on, think about initiating that movement with your arms, not with your leg. So your leg is just completely passive as you move it in that socket, and then make it a bit of a round and round movement as well. And then back the other way. So just a little warm up here. Well done. So let's keep that right leg where it is and extend the left leg out. So think about what's happening in your back here. Your arms can be just out to the side. You're lifting off, really waking up the thigh. And we're not leaning backwards. That's going to be the challenge. You're going to want to lean backwards. So try and sit up tall and then bring that leg back down. So let's swap around. So take the right leg out. Left foot comes in. Bring it right in as high up as you can. So knee trying to move out down towards your mat. And still making sure you have those sit bones grounding down, touching down, rooting down into the floor. And again, here we go, just sliding your hands down. Wherever they get to, more to the sort of, the focus here is really making sure that you're not sliding over into that V between your legs. We want to use the right hand here to push against the outer edge of your right leg to bring yourself over so your leg is central to your chest. And can you bring your forearms down to the mat? Check on that left leg. Is it flying, or can you take it down to the mat, pin it to the floor? Easy breath in and out here. So just whatever works, but keeping a little bit of attention on your breath to make sure that you're not holding your breath. Relax your left hip if you're holding on there. And relax your jaw if you're holding on there. And then gently coming back up. Now we're going to cradle the legs, so lift up, hold support wherever, so the knee and ankle. And you can hold with your hand, or if it's easy for you, just curl around and cradle. And we're going side to start with. And really try and bring that movement. Can't speak English this morning. Move your leg rather than letting your leg do the moving. That makes sense. So your leg needs to try and be as passive as possible. We're just using our arms. So there's no engagement of the muscles there. You're just doing that lovely movement without them being involved. And then let's come round and round. So you might need to change your hold here. And again, it's not a huge movement. It's just a nice gentle. Think about lubricating that hip joint. Nice hip and socket. Ball and socket. There we go. Lovely. So we're going to do a little bit of strength work here. So leg extends out and keep it up. So keep that leg up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze in the thigh. Try not to lean backwards. Hands are out to the sides if you need them to be. Maybe press down into the palms of your hands as you squeeze all those muscles in your leg. And think about taking your toes towards your face. Chest up and then relax down. So let's take the legs wide now. We're going to do a little bit of side bending. So nice wide legs, press down into your heels. Try and ensure that your sit bones stay on the floor. So we're nice and tall, crown of the head lifting up. And let's take the right hand to the right leg and we'll slide down and left arm comes up and over. So here we go. We are in a lovely side bend. And there are so many little variations, so play with this. If you want to come further over to the right, you can take your forearm down to the mat just in front of your leg, but watch out for flying sit bone on the left. You want to have that still in touch with the floor. It can be very tempting to hold your breath here, so lovely, slow, deep breath. Think about lifting with your hand, so as if there was something just out of reach and you wanted to try and grab it. So the arm is dynamic, arm is not just hanging around there, you're lifting and reaching. Notice how that changes in your ribs, you get a little bit more space. In your waist, you get a little bit more of a pull and a need for some strength. Well done. And then we're going to lift up to come out, slowly come up. And it's very strong on the side of the body. So nice and slow, nice and gentle, nice and easy. And then we come back to center. And you know what's happening next. We're going on the left, lifting up with the right. And your arm doesn't have to come all the way over. You'll know when you've got that lovely stretch in the side of your body. And again, whatever you did on that side, do again on this side if you can. So forearm might come to the mat, or you might want to leave it on your leg, whatever works for you. Another thing to watch out for is to make sure that you don't start curling around, because what'll happen then is your pull and your stretch will come into your back rather than purely into the side. So we definitely want that stretch into the side. And again, lifting and reaching with that hand. Think about what's happening with your sit bones. Are they both on the floor? You'll have a lot more pressure on the left side here than the right, that's fine. But just make sure it's not flying. If it is, come back off a little bit. And breathe. Well done. And we're going to reach up to come out. So reach up, way. Well done. Okay, this time both hands are on your legs. So right hand, right leg, left hand, left leg, and slide forward. We're trying to bring our chins forward, so we're not curling our backs. So send your chin forward. Nice, lovely, long necks, lovely and elegant. And don't worry if you don't get much range of movement in this posture, because those muscles on your inner thighs are going to be really having to stretch here. See if you can relax your toes, relax the soles of your feet. Don't worry if you've got quite a lot of pressure in your arms, holding yourself up. That's good. And if you're more comfortable, you can always take your hands in front of you and reach forward. If you do, think about how that changes. Is it easier to come forward a little more? Is it harder? Just noticing what's working and how it's working. Okay, while you're in this posture here, just squeeze your glutes now. Give them a really good squeeze. And then we're going to relax that squeeze and walk backwards with your hands. Bring your legs together again. So back into Dandasana, staff pose, feet up, toes towards your face. Inhale your arms up. And exhale, fold forward all the way. So folding forward, relaxing your arms, relaxing your shoulders. With every in-breath, we come off and as we make space. As if your lungs are a balloon and your belly is a balloon, filling up with air. And then as you exhale, you're letting that air out. So you've got more space to fold forward. Pushing down into your heels gently as you fold forward. Can you do 2 more rounds of breath here, please? So breathing to come away, breathing out to fold forward. And last one. And folding forward. So I've done lots of folding forward, lots of side, well, not lots, but some. So we're going to come into a bit of counter posing here. So bring your feet in, wrap your arms around, get ready, because we're going to come up into a squat. So when you're ready, bring yourself up into your squat. Okay, so if you haven't done squat for a little while, take a little moment to see where you have got any restrictions, any tightness, or whether it's beautifully easy today. So if you've been running especially, you might feel that in your calves. And let's do a little bit of a dip forwards and backwards. If you're up on toes, you can still do that dip forwards and backwards. You'll be working your feet more than your calves. And we're going to come up from here into chair posture. So Utkatasana, take your arms up. And let's use lots of strength here. Think about your pelvic floor. So get your pelvic floor engaged first before you start moving, and then come up into chair pose. So hips are going back. 10 seconds. Knees sort of not quite over toes, a little bit further back. Lengthen through your lower back. So if you are curling your bum and your sit bones out behind you, try and pull your belly button in towards your spine. And hold and hold and hold. Keep breathing, lovely, slow, deep breaths if you can. And then let's come all the way up. Take your arms down. We're going to come into our half moon. So bring your feet quite close together. They might be touching if you feel like that's what you want. Otherwise, just close together. Inhale up. Bring your hands together and just fold your thumbs around each other. So just hold on with your thumbs. Lift your chest. Keep your head and your arms in line with each other. And let's lean back, looking up towards the ceiling. Try not to take everything into your lower back. So you need to take some of this movement into the upper back too, lifting your sternum forward. Lifting your chin a little higher. And keep breathing. And then release. Come back up to center, bring your arms down. Take your legs away from each other. We're going to come into a warrior sequence. And don't worry if your lower back is feeling a bit strange. That was quite an intense stretch after so much forward bending. You need to always counter pose. So right toes out to the narrow end of your mat. And as you're setting up, always make sure that the right heel or the front heel lines up with the arch of your back foot. And then let's turn the hips towards the narrow end of your mat. I'll try not to fall over. Don't worry too much about what's happening with your back foot. Your back foot will naturally move. Just let it move where it needs to. So legs are straight at the moment, hands on hips, and that's to help you line up. So if your hips are off at a 3/4, bring them in line. And let's inhale up and sink down. Your back foot heel can come off and lift. So lifting the chest again, some of the same sensations of our half moon that we just did in our backs. Squeeze your left glutes. Can you sink a little lower? Can you bring a little bit more tension into your arms as if you were holding a football between your hands? So pressing them gently towards each other. Lift your chest, lift up that sternum, your heart center. Well done. And then take the arms wide and bring yourself round to center, hands to hips, Prasarita Padottanasana, bring yourself forward into an easy forward fold. Legs are not locked here, bend your knees a little bit. And then let's come up straight back. So as if somebody's just gently guiding you up by back of your head, straight back. Well done. So let's go over to our warrior on the other side. So left foot forward. And again, using your hands to make sure that your hips are square. When you're ready, inhaling your arms up, bending your left knee and coming nice and low. Again, think about holding that football above your head, hands wide, so spreading out your fingers, lifting your sternum, a little bit of a bend in your back here, and squeezing your right glutes this time. Back leg is straight, front leg is bent, and breathe. Let's hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And again, stretching your arms out to the side, back a little bit as well, bringing them all the way around as you come back to center. This time we're going to take the arms out in front. So stretch your arms out as if you're reaching forward, and then we'll fold until your hands come down to the floor. Leave them where they are, but keep pressing your chest back towards your legs. A little bit of opening up under the arms as well. A little bit of pressure in your shoulders, maybe. And breathe. And this time we're going to round to come up. So start that movement in your lower back. Hang your head, hang your arms in a very relaxed way, and then come back up to standing. So we're going to come into a warrior 2. So this time, hips stay where they are, lined up with the long end of your mat. Right foot, toes point forward. And then we're going to take the arms out. So really strong in your shoulders here. Think about that for a moment. Maybe a bit of a wiggle. We want our shoulders and arms and hands to be completely engaged. So maybe take your fingers away from each other. Maybe lifting your fingers up a little bit. And then let's fold on that front leg, or bend rather. There's so many lovely variations here. You can either be absolutely straight. You can take your left hand down to your left leg and bring your right arm up. Have a play. Do what you feel like. See if you can be guided by what would actually feel nice for your body for today. And can you sink a little lower with your legs? Lots of strength required here. And nearly there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep your arms up. Let's just change the legs. So right foot turns in, left foot turns out. Looking over your drishti point, your gaze point is just over the middle finger of your left hand here. So just check that your hips are aligned with the long end of your mat, and then we're going to bend in the left. So bending the left, right stretches, and again. Have a play, whatever you did on the other side. Maybe you want to do on this side. Keeping your arms strong, keeping your hands very much engaged. And chin to left shoulder. And then let's come back up to center in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's it. Hands to hips. Let's walk feet in. Got a traveling mat again today. So we're going to come into a lovely downward facing dog, inhaling up and exhaling, reach forward as if you're trying to put something on a shelf a little bit far away from you, all the way down to the floor, and then walking your hands forward again. Taking your feet hip width apart, bringing yourself into downward facing dog. So stay here in downward facing dog. Think about what's happening in your wrists. If they are feeling any kind of compression, you want to be lifting up out of your wrists. So lift away. Think about your neck and your head and your face being completely relaxed. Sit bones pointing up towards the ceiling. As soon as you start doing that, that little bit of rotation in your hips, you'll feel it in the backs of your legs, you'll feel it in your Achilles, in the backs of your knees. Pulling your belly gently in towards your spine. Keeping your shoulders wide.
and pressing into your fingertips. So don't have all of the weight going into your wrists. You want to have your fingertips engaged, poking down into the mat, heels pushing down into the mat or towards the mat. And now let's come up onto tiptoes. So keep everything else the same. Just come up as high as you can onto your toes. And then let's come back down. And staying here, take your right leg off, and bring your knee up to your chest. Send that right leg out behind you now. So behind, and then take your foot up towards the ceiling. Don't change the angle of your hips. Keep them in line with the floor. Just lifting up that right leg, three-legged dog. Can you lift a little higher? Don't forget to breathe. Well done. Hold up there, three-legged dog. And then looking towards your hands, bring your knee to your chest. You can come up onto toes on the left side, so bringing your knee into your chest. Tuck it in as tight as you possibly can. And then we're going to step that right foot forward between your hands. So we're in a nice, lovely low lunge now. So come into that lunge, dropping your hips. You might come up onto fingertips if you need to. We're just getting a lovely stretch. Well done. Quite an intense stretch there. And then we're going to lift. Come away from, don't even know what I'm saying. We're into a pyramid here. So taking your torso along your extended right leg, straightening that right leg. So both legs are straight. You're folding forward, bringing your forehead down to your right knee or right shin. Hands are just where they were when you were in your downward facing dog. Well done. And from here, we're going to come up to standing. Whoops, lots of strength, a little bit of wobbles. Well done. And folding, turning all the way around to the other side. We are coming back into our pyramid. So taking your hands either side of your extended left leg now and left foot, bringing your forehead down towards your leg. Tuck your belly towards your spine, a little bit of engagement there. A nice, slow, deep breath. And then we're going to come into our lunge. So bend your left leg, lift your right heel off, and you might want to come up onto fingertips here. Lovely stretch all the way along the front here, front of your right thigh, your right hip. And then this is going to be the fun bit. So we're coming back into our downward facing dog. So we're going to be folding that left foot back, taking it into the chest, and then sending it all the way up into three-legged dog. Bring your chest closer to the floor, taking your shoulders wide. We held for a little while in three-legged dog, so we're going to hold a little while here as well. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm just bringing it back down. returning to our downward facing dog. Sit bones up to the ceiling, heels down to the floor, drawing away from your wrists, shoulders wide, head and neck relaxed. And then bringing your knees to the mat, release your feet and bring yourself back into Balasana. And have a little bit of a rest here. So try and get as much compression as you can on your chest. So sending your hips back towards your heels, moving if you need to, coming off and then coming back on again in terms of getting your chest on your thighs. And stretching your hands away from you if you want to get a bit of stretch under your arms. Otherwise, bringing your hands either side of your body. It's quite common for people to hold their breaths when they're in Balasana. So don't hold your breath. Lovely, lovely breath in and out. And you'll probably feel like you have to take it into the sides of your body. It's fine. Wherever it needs to go, let it go. But just make sure that you are breathing easily and freely. So we're staying here in Balasana for a moment. If you've taken your hands either side of your body, can you bring them back so that your hands are stretched out in front of you? And then creeping your hands forward, staying very low to the mat. So bring your chest to the mat. Push your hips up towards the ceiling. So your face and nose, well, your nose is on your face. Your face stays low. A little bit more pressure under your arms and your shoulders. Sending your hips higher up into the sky, bringing your chest down to the mat. Extended puppy pose. And then bringing yourself back to Balasana. And then up to your tabletop position. Chakravakasana or cat and cow. So let's take the belly down. So really feel as if you're trying to get your belly button on your mat as your head comes up and your hips come up. We've done some lovely side stretches and we've done some movements for our backs, but this will be adding on to that. Holding inwards now into cat. So use your breath and try and make one movement. So breathing in to come into cow with the belly down towards the mat and breathing out to come into cat. Go at your own pace. If you want to go really fast, you can go fast. If you want to make it that breath as slow as you possibly can, do that. Challenge yourself to do one or the other. If you're going fast, make sure that when you get to your end point, you are actually at the end point. So you're stretching as much as you possibly can. Well done. That's it. Really lift, 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 lift. And sink as much as you can. Keeping your fingertips pressing down into the mat. So again, it's not just into the wrists, it's fingers working as well. And your toes are just having a nice little rest here, nothing for them to do. And why not? So one more round and then we're going to come into plank. And we're going to be coming into side plank. So if you prefer to have a low plank, have a low plank, otherwise up in high plank. So toes tucked under, lovely and strong, and feel like you're lifting away from your hands, not just sinking down, but lifting. So keeping your shoulders active, keeping your back dynamic here. Pressing down into your fingers. Think about what's happening in your core,
So keep pulling your belly button up gently in towards your spine. And we're going to come into side plank, so we'll go over whichever side you wish. I'm going to go taking my right hand up first. So turning with your feet, bringing your right hand up. If you're in the low plank here, come into side plank if it's appropriate for you. If it's not, that's it. Lovely, well done. And if you want to add on, you can take the top leg off. So you're in a little bit of a starfish pose. If it's a wobbly day, then stack one foot in front of the other and you get a lot more stability there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Come back to plank. Stay in plank for a moment. Just notice the difference between the sensations in the palms of your hands. And then we are going to come over to the other side. So switch. This time the other squished hand gets to have a little rest and float up towards the ceiling. And again, whatever you did on that side, do on this side. If you had a floating leg, get another floating leg. And don't forget to breathe. Well done. We're going to do one more quite strong asana after this, and then we're going to come into some lovely floor stretches. Set you up for a week of being very open and stretched. And let's come back into our plank. Okay, so we're going to come down to the floor. You can either come into chaturanga, which is a low plank, or you can come into ashtanga namaskar, which is knees, chest, and chin. So however you wish to come down to the floor, bring yourself down to the floor. Chaturanga, you fold forward and then come down very slowly, hover, and then bring yourself with great relief to the mat. Send your arms out in front of you. Send your feet out. I know they're already out behind you, but stretch them away. Make yourself as long as you possibly can. Take a breath or two. And we're going to come into, you have two choices. You can come into Shalabhasana, locust, or you can bring yourself into Dhanurasana, bow. So bow, you are reaching around, grabbing either both ankles, right hand, right foot, left hand, left foot, and then lifting yourself off the mat. So stretching the front of the body there. Shalabhasana or locust, using all the muscles in your back to lift your hands and arms and lift your legs. So we moved our backs in lots of different ways, but when we were in cat and cow, we warmed up for this. So your choice, if you're not a big Shalabhasana fan, then take Dhanurasana. And if you're in Shalabhasana, then we want to be drawing the shoulders back, squeezing the glutes, lifting the legs as high as you possibly can. And relax, come into Makara, whichever asana you're in, come into Makara. And breathe. Both asanas are terrible for making you hold your breath. So take a breath here. Notice if you can feel your heart beating. That's a good sign. We want that to keep going. And we're going to come into one more round. So here's your choice. You can either come into the other asana that you didn't do last time, or you can repeat the same one again. So whatever you feel like doing today. I'm going to come into Dhanurasana. And don't forget that whole not breathing bit. Try to keep breathing.
whichever asana you're in. Can you come a little higher just for a moment? And release. Come back to Makara on the other side. What's going on? What sensations can you feel? Which parts of your body are looking for your attention? Well done. We're going to come back up so we can turn around and come onto our back. So bring your hands either side of your chest, elbows pointing behind you. And sometimes they want to just go out to the sides. Push the palms of your hands flat to the floor, and that will help bring your elbows behind you. Push the tops of your feet into the floor as well. So that helps engage your legs, engage your glutes. And we're going to start looking up. So look up, raise your chin off the floor, keep your shoulders wide, and then keep that movement going. Keep lifting, squeezing all those muscles in your back, in your belly. And then when you get to the point where you can't go any higher, put some pressure into the palms of your hands and lift away. So Bhujangasana or Cobra. We're not doing baby Cobra, we're going straight into full expression of Cobra if that works for you. If it doesn't, then come to where does work. We want that nice stretch through the front of your body. And we want some compression in the back. And squeeze your glutes, so pushing your pelvis into the mat, pushing the tops of your feet into the mat, lifting your chin, relaxing your face, keeping your shoulders broad, but relaxed as well. And then from here, we're going to come into Balasana again. So lifting your hips off, sending yourself back. And that should feel absolutely glorious in your lower back, in your back, in the sides of your body, and in your head. A little bit of a inversion. And breathe. Taking your heels to your hips. And then letting your hands just drag along the floor. Coming up to sitting on your heels. Virasana or Vajrasana. If sitting on your heels is really uncomfortable for you, take your feet out to the sides and come to sitting on the floor with your legs out to the sides. If that doesn't work either, then just bring your legs around, which is what we're going to do anyway. So bring them around. Then I know some of you have got, that's not a most comfortable position. So we don't hang around in there for very long. There's plenty of asanas to choose from, so we don't need to do that. So bring your shoulders round, roll them forward without rounding your back too much, and then take them out to the sides, and then take them slightly behind you. So sending your chest forward again. So you've got that nice open chest. And yes, we are going to come into Navasana because it's such a great asana. Bring your knees up, give them a hug, and find that balanced place where you can balance beautifully. Neck is long, back is straight, and you can be as extreme as you want with this Navasana. So if you want to go whole 9 yards, straight legs, straight arms out, go ahead and do that. Go to wherever your level is today and be lovely to yourself, because you know it's different every day. And if you don't feel like something, it's often a very good reason for that. Get rid of the shoulds. So we're going to slowly come down to the mat, or we're going to go down very quickly, whatever works for you. So bringing yourself down, let your lower back nestle into the floor. So bend your knees and press your lower back in. Take your arms out wide. Now we're going to do a twist. So up to you how you want to do your twist. If you want to get all complicated with your legs, go ahead. If you want to go just simple style, take them over. to one side and your head over to the other side. Sometimes you just feel like you need to add on a little, just want a little bit of extra, just it's kind of like almost you need ringing out. So if that's you today, go ahead, cross your legs, extend your legs, do whatever you need to do. Try and get a little bit of distance between your hip bone and the bottom of your ribs, so making your body long. Maximize that lovely twist. And then bringing your face back to center, legs skimming low in over your belly and over to the other side. So use your muscles to control that movement. Keep both of your shoulders pinned to the mat. It's a bit like the flying sit bones. The shoulders want to head off as well. So then making it a full twist by bringing the neck in, looking over to the opposite side. Well done. You know, just bringing yourself to your practice is the most incredible achievement. So well done for that. And thank you for your lovely company, as always. So finish that twist. And come back to center. So head back to center. And again, skimming those thighs right across your chest. Bring them really low. And then wrap your arms around. Give yourself a bit of a squeeze. Rock from side to side if you want one. And then forehead up. So bring yourself up into a tiny little ball, curling your forehead up towards your knees. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And well done. Bring yourself into your Shavasana. And what do you need? It's a cold and frosty and very grey day. Maybe a nice little rug, maybe something comfortable. I'm going to get you into your Shavasana and then I'm going to leave you in Shavasana. So stay as long as you can, as long as you want to, as long as you're allowed to, by children, pets, commitments, because they are all waiting, but they're not here yet. So this is still your time. Relax in Shavasana. Think about taking your breath right down into your toes, right down into your fingertips, right into the back of your head, where your head is resting on the mat. As you breathe in, taking your breath all the way around your head. So a lot of this will be in your imagination, but you can feel that breath in your belly and your chest and the sides of your body and the back and under your collarbones and in your throat and neck. So go ahead and enjoy the sensation of every single breath as it comes in and as it goes out. And obviously, we always need to remember that our breath is what anchors us here to this earth, to this body. So breathe in mindfully and with great joy and delight, and knowing that it's sustenance and warmth and joy and light and all those good things that come in with every single breath. And maybe you've moved something today in your practice, maybe you've made space, maybe you're able now to just let go of something you no longer need. So with your out breath, sinking a little deeper into that relaxation, letting go. And with every in-breath, taking it all the way around your body. This is a really good time to do a body scan, starting right from your toes to the top of your head. Noticing every little part of you and feeling grateful for every single other part of you. So rest and stay in your Shavasana. And count back from 30. So do your 30 counted breaths.
with each round of breath. So an inhale and an exhale, that's 30. The next breath is 29. And see if you can take yourself all the way down to 0.